What's up, guys? Bang, bang, lunch money time. I'm here with the beautiful, intelligent Polina Marinova,
Josh, this is very
Pompliano,
soft.
looking like a sheep. Don't forget, while she's trying to get rich for us, she's trying to get our lunch money right. And also, BlockFi is now a sponsor. BlockFi, BlockFi.com/pomp, BlockFi.com/pomp, BlockFi.com/pomp. Go check them out. You can earn up to 8.6% APY in an interest-bearing account. It's a no-brainer. 8.6% APY is unheard of in the traditional world, but not at BlockFi. They got you. Get money, get paid. I'm an investor. I sit on the board. It is awesome. 8.6% APY in an interest-bearing account. Go sign up, BlockFi.com/pomp. I'm the best ad reader in the world. That's all off the dome. Let's go. Let me rant today. I know y'all liked the rant yesterday, but I got one for you today. Go ahead.
The first topic, there is an op-ed in the New York Times called, stop doing that, called America's Money Men Could Save Us, but they're stuck in the 70s. Isn't there a 50 Cent song that's like money, money men, money men?
Many men
No,
wish
it's
death
Money
upon me.
Oh, I thought it was Money Men.
No, I'm positive. I used to listen to that shit while we were driving
Many
in the streets
Many
of Iraq. Facts. Yeah, y'all don't know that.
Okay, so guys, what is happening today? So the Money Men, tell us, because you wrote about it in your newsletter this morning.
This is mislabeled. This shouldn't be labeled an op-ed. This should be labeled outright propaganda. This is garbage.
What does it say? First, explain what it says.
There's a person who wrote in the New York Times that they're advocating for socialism. That's basically what they're doing. They're saying that the Federal Reserve can save the economy, and the Federal Reserve should start giving out low-cost loans that turn into grants for businesses. They're saying that the Federal Reserve should start sending money directly to people in a universal basic income type structure. And they're also saying that Congress should change the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 and give the Federal Reserve more power. This is an outright assault on capitalism, and it's being passed off as an op-ed in the New York Times. This is absurd, and if people don't say something, then they're just as guilty as the people who have originated these ideas. You cannot give free money to companies, give free money to people, and give the Federal Reserve more power and expect to have an economy that is sustainable, that continues to have capitalistic ideals, and also leads to innovation, growth, and production. What they are trying to do is implement socialism. That's what this is. It is outright socialism. You cannot have free money just drop to everybody. This is nonsense. And then on top of it, it's like, oh, by the way, Congress can't save us. Capitalism can't save us. We'll just give the Federal Reserve more powers. Have you seen what these people want to do? The World Bank chief economist.
Wait.
Is that the next topic?
Yes.
Okay. All I'm going to say about this is we can just pause right there. There is socialism being advocated for in the New York Times, and it's being passed off as, oh, the Federal Reserve can save us. The Federal Reserve and inflation and the monetary stimulus and the constant intervention in markets is the number one cause of wealth inequality in America.
This is the beauty of freedom of speech. This woman, who is a New York Times contributor, can write her opinion, and our lovely friend over here can wildly disagree with it. This is healthy debate. This is good for America.
Of course.
Okay.
But I just want everyone to know there's fools out there. There are fools out there. And these fools are literally advocating for socialism. If you want to live in a socialist country, go somewhere else. That's not what this country was built on. That's not what made us the greatest economy in the world. That's not what led to technology and innovation. That is not what leads to progress. This is dumb, and we do not need people to depend on the government. The government ain't coming to save you. The Federal Reserve ain't coming to save you. Educate yourself, make your own decisions, and make sure that you're in a position so that you will be successful. It's on you. It's about personal responsibility. It's not on government responsibility or Federal Reserve responsibility. It's personal responsibility. If you want to succeed, educate yourself and do the things necessary to succeed. Don't wait around for a bunch of rich people to say, oh, I'm just going to drop money on you and, oh, please give me some money. This is garbage. It's stupid, dangerous, inaccurate, bad ideas being propagated as op-eds, and it's not that, it's propaganda. Okay, you can move on.
Top World Bank economist says financial crisis could emerge from pandemic. So World Bank chief economist Carmen Reinhart said the coronavirus pandemic is turning into a major economic crisis and warned of the possibility of a financial crisis emerging. This did not start as a financial crisis, but it is morphing into a major economic crisis with very serious financial consequences. There is a long road ahead.
Carmen Reinhart is a gangster.
Sorry, this is what you wrote about
in the most positive way, right? She, along with Kenneth Rogoff, who both are at Harvard, wrote a book. What's the name of? I forget the name of the book.
This time is different. 8 Centuries of Financial Folly. Ooh, folly. That's a.
They wrote this in 2009. And they are widely regarded as experts in everything from currencies, inflation, bank runs, all this kind of stuff. She was hired as the chief economist at the World Bank earlier this year. And she is now coming out. And the words that she's using are very important. She's saying this is war in terms of central banks buying up bonds to keep yields low. And they're all competing with each other as to who can buy more. She is a staunch critic of debt. Yet, she is now saying, we got to win the war and we'll worry about how to pay it later. She knows what she's talking about, but that's what's happening is they are loading up countries with debt and saying, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out later. Well, newsflash, they only got 2 options to pay off the debt. You either, 1, don't and you default, or 2, you continue to manipulate and devalue a currency so that you can use cheap capital to pay off the debt later. Either way,
so it's basically,
the bottom 50% get hurt.
And it's basically kicking the can down the road.
Yes, it mitigates the short-term pain and it makes the long-term unsustainable. And so she recognizes that, but she's saying, hey, I don't like all the debt, but I want to mitigate the short-term pain. And instead, we're going to give up the long-term sustainability. There's a long road ahead. She thinks it's going to take 5 years to recover from this. And she's warning of an even worse financial crisis coming off of this. The financial crisis, if it happens, won't be caused by COVID. It'll be caused by the Federal Reserve stepping in and other central banks around the world manipulating markets, intervening, and then their response to COVID will actually be the cause of the financial crisis.
But doesn't this kind of contradict what you just said in the last rant where it was like, you know, you're saying like the house is on fire, let's give people money now, even though it's bad for the long term.
I don't agree.
Oh, but you just said.
No, that's her argument. Her argument is, hey, fight the war now, pay for it later. Like, we'll figure it out later.
Right.
I'm arguing, look, by the way, it's socialism whether you give it to the people or you give it to Wall Street. All this quantitative easing, that's just socialism for rich people, right? My friend Travis Kling always says quantitative easing is universal basic income for the wealthy. It's all the same, right? I've been against all this nonsense. Don't bail out the airlines. Don't print money. Don't do any of this nonsense. I don't care who you're saying you're going to give it to. But what's even worse is not only did they do it, but then they gave all the money to the rich people. They bailed out Wall Street, right? They bailed out all the companies. And now what we're seeing is now they're advocating, oh, maybe we should give money to people too. We shouldn't do any of it, and we should allow the free market to reign. The reason why people don't want the free market to reign is because that means, well, of course there's going to be pain, but there's pain right now. So they stepped in, they did all this stuff, and they actually made it worse for people who aren't wealthy. Think about that. The Federal Reserve made it worse for people who aren't wealthy. And it's only going to get worse. Inflation right now, the unofficial numbers, inflation is probably somewhere between 6 to 10%. And the people in the lowest socioeconomic classes, they actually experience inflation at a higher rate than people in the highest socioeconomic classes. And if they continue to print money like the way they're doing it, and if they continue to intervene in markets, it's only going to get worse. And I'm calling it right now. If we continue on this path, the lowest socioeconomic classes in America are going to experience somewhere between 15 and 20% inflation. You think people right now feel like they can't get ahead? You think people right now are upset? They feel like they're stuck in a rat race? Wait till they're experiencing 15 to 20% inflation. This is insanity. And it's all because humans are really bad at allowing the free market to reign. We feel like we have to do something. We feel like we don't have control if we don't do something. There's a new system. There's a way to opt out of this garbage. I opted out. There's a lot more people going to opt out too. I'll see y'all there.
It's just one big commercial for Bitcoin.
They're running a trillion, $3, $4, $5 trillion marketing campaign for Bitcoin right now.
I hear you.
They ran the campaign. I'm just pointing it out.
Okay.
Bitcoin's up over 50%. It's the highest, it's best performing asset this year. Wonder why. Go ahead. By the way, these aren't just my ideas. Paul Tudor Jones, he agrees with me.
He does.
Stone Ridge, they agree with me. Michael Saylor, he agrees with me. Jack Dorsey, he agrees with me. Go ahead. Satoshi agrees with me.
I didn't hear my name on that list.
You with me. We partners. Let's go. What's next?
Oh, that was kind of sweet, guys. Okay, Madison Avenue, New York City's most high-end retail avenue. The properties there are selling for decade-low prices. 3 buildings on Madison Avenue's main retail corridor have sold for about 80% below peak sales prices since in 2014.
2014 was the peak sale prices, and now they're selling for 80% less. Yes,
That's
of course.
wild.
Well, because the stores are all closed, so no one can pay rent.
A Swiss luxury retailer, Acris, was a tenant at one of the retail spaces, agreed to pay $45 million for 3 properties. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, duh. Like,
well, it's just that's crazy.
It's gonna come back.
How long?
It's $1,350 per square foot.
But it used to be $7,589.
Yeah, 80% down. It's gonna come back in the sense of, unless you think New York City's going away, in terms of like no one's gonna live here anymore, there's gonna be no foot traffic. This is a great time to buy. And that's what they're doing. They're buying real estate at the bottom of a market. My guess is that those people are going to make out like bandits over the next 10 years because New York's going to be back and it's going to be fine.
So you're ready? I really like this story.
This is a new topic?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
There's a company.
We have 5 minutes left.
There's a company called Paystack, and they had kind of been marketing themselves as Stripe for Africa. And it took off. Like, it was really, really popular. It was really well done. So eventually the founders of that company met with the real Stripe, and now it came out that the real Stripe paid over $200 million to acquire Paystack, and it's probably kind of moving into Africa, especially Nigeria, where there's a lot of this payment, digital payment stuff happening.
Well, Stripe was an investor in the company too.
Yes.
Right. So look, I watched, they put out a video yesterday about this. These 2 guys that started the company, I love them. Literally, they're awesome. They are so excited and they're just so down to earth. And they're just like, look, the internet, you can do anything in the world. Like, we live in Lagos, Nigeria. We built a company. That company worked. We literally helped all these small businesses and merchants around Nigeria and other countries in Africa. And now Stripe bought us for $200 million. That must be one of the
biggest acquisitions.
Oh, it's probably one of the biggest technology acquisitions, especially by a company that is in Silicon Valley of a company that's in the continent of Africa, for sure. I love this story. Bang, bang. That's what the internet's about. Not that socialism garbage. Let's get more capitalism. You see what happens when capitalism works?
All right, ready? Yeah. So this is going off of yesterday's rant.
Yep.
Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey says blocking the New York Post story was wrong. He said that straight blocking of URLs was wrong, and we updated our policy and enforcement to fix. Our goal is to attempt to add context, and now we have capabilities to do that. This is after the company faced backlash after blocking the New York Post story on Joe Biden and corruption claims.
I'm cool with Jack, because Jack did the one thing that most leaders wouldn't do. He came out and said, we got it wrong. I'm cool with that. I respect that. Should they have done it? No. He's saying that, right? And actually, I really appreciate the nuance he provided, which was, hey, here was our logic. We actually don't disagree with the way the rules were applied, but we need to change the rules because in this situation, we learned something.
Yeah.
And so, again, you can't expect everyone to be perfect all the time, but when somebody comes out and owns a mistake, says, here's how we're going to fix it, explains why they made the mistake, and also you can tell they're trying to get it right.
And I feel like
I'm good.
Compared to Zuck, I feel like Dorsey's much more open and much more transparent and like talks to people on Twitter, like, you know, uses Twitter to explain his logic. Why is Zuck so quiet lately?
No, he does. He's just on Facebook and no one's on Facebook. Like, none of us are on Facebook. I mean, like, we have Facebook accounts, but we don't spend as much time on Facebook as we do on Twitter.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Meat lovers. Hormel, is that how you pronounce it? Hormel has created a bacon-smelling face mask. That is disgusting. It's a bacon-scented face mask, and while you can't buy one, you can enter a drawing for a chance to win one.
How you win? A bacon smell technology? I kind of think this is interesting.
I think you just click and you enter a drawing.
Can you imagine how fat I would be though if I was smelling bacon all the time?
Okay, I have the best joke ever today. If you don't laugh, I'm going to be really mad at you, so consider your options. Ready?
This is a good one.
I looked for this one so much. Why do Bitcoiners want a Lambo? You're already laughing.
Why?
Because Ferrari is owned by Fiat. Get it?
The setup I thought was going to be awesome.
Okay, it's a funny one. Come on, I even
I've actually
catered
heard it
to your
before.
people. Oh man.
Yeah, if I hadn't heard it before, maybe I would have laughed.
But you did laugh. Look at that smile.
I
just
laughed at
reading
the
it.
setup because I was not expecting that. Good job. All right, guys, that's it for Lunch Money for the week. Sorry, I had a couple little things I needed to say, but glad. Let me know in the comments if you disagree.
Should I go on a rant?
No. All right, that's it for Lunch Money. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.